Okay.
Okay, we're going to get started and we're going to start warming up. We're going to do a whole mobility thing with joints. So if you have your chair and you're ready to go with your chair, that's what I'm going to be doing. I think you can see me and hear me, correct? Okay, good. All right, so here I'm up in my chair. So I have people that are out biking, doing bike riding. They're going to go swim classes. So this is a really good thing to do to warm up your joints. So as you're here, especially if you have replaced joints, as I have a replaced joint, a knee and a hip. So I'm just going to show you a real simple warm up for your joints that doesn't involve maybe necessarily walking. I don't have anything against walking. I think it's great. It's just that there's sometimes you need to do some specific mobility moves. So as people start coming on, I'll reiterate, but do you see what I'm doing right here? See, I'm sitting in my chair, and you can do it sitting right there, one leg at a time. You turn your knee inside. See that? See that? So this is my replaced joint. And you just turn your toe like that, and you're here. Hi, Kay, I see you. Anyway, I've got my little granddaughter here, and we're going to do some joint mobility moves sitting in a chair. So I'm just turning my knee into the inside of my midline. Okay, so it's like you turn your toe around and your heel comes up and you drop that down there like that. And you go down far enough that you can feel it right here. Okay, so hang on to your chair if you're sliding around or whatever. And you see how I just turned on my toe and I come down like that? Yeah, you can even put the top of your toe or your foot down. Do you see how that's extended there? And then you come back. So this not only helps your hip mobility, and so when I'm here, see, I'm on my toes first to stretch my toe. So press into your toe, and then I just go ahead and lay the top of my foot on the ground. See that? And then you come back, okay? And if you'll start doing this, first, you keep on your toe because that's stretching your plantar fascia, and you're pushing down here and you're just turning this onto the inside of your midline. See that? But it starts affecting your and warming up your back for better mobility. And so some therapists, so I'm just staying on my toe right now. I didn't take the time to go put my foot down, but I will. Okay, so now go ahead and put the top of your foot on the ground. Okay, and some of you might find this challenging, especially if you have some issues with backs, hips, feet. Okay, your flexors and extensors. So here I go. I'm turning in. See, I'm on my toe. Okay, say rib cage up. Okay, once you've had it down here, just drop that knee right down to the floor. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the top of my foot on the ground. And that is going to further turn and get your hip mobility working so that it pulls in through the back. This shouldn't hurt or anything, but you definitely feel a stretch through there, okay? After I've done that a couple of times, and what I was saying is some therapists want you to do this 20 to 30 times, okay? We're doing it 10 or so. Now I'm gonna put my hand right here, okay, right on the inside of my leg like this, sit up real straight, okay? And I'm gonna push out. I'm gonna push out, and I'm gonna take the other hand and act like I'm reaching back, okay? Now, right now, act like my hands are on your shoulders. Okay, so just when I said that, I saw my little granddaughter drop her shoulders, which is what I'm trying to remind her to do all the time. Drop your shoulders, because it's real easy on this move. So see, I'm pushing. So take this hand and push that leg out. Scoot your butt to the end of the chair and really push on it. And then act like you're grabbing something back here. Sit up real straight. And you should feel stretches in your groin, in your shoulders, in your back. The whole back is going to be turning. See, I'm doing back here, I'm not turning my head, and I'm hanging out there for a second. Take a big breath. Okay, now I'm going to put my hand right here, and I'm going to push, and I'm going to pull back. So it's a push-pull. Don't just crank that down. You push in with your leg muscle, and you push out with your hand. See how I'm putting that hand there? So push in and push out. Now push it. Okay, rib cage up. Okay. And as I get a stretch here, I'm going to take this hand and say, oh yeah, I feel that. Raise your hand way up, push, pull, push in with your leg and push out with your arm, and then reach back. Okay. So I'm reaching back here and I'm pushing my leg in as I push my hand against my leg. So it's a push pull. So this is specifically to help hip mobility as it relates to your lower back for sure. Okay. And then come back in. Take a big deep breath. You got your chair here. Okay. You're going to rotate back, tight tummy. Yeah. You're going to go right back to the back of your chair. So this is hard to do there. You can lay down, lay right down. Pull your knee in to your shoulder. Pull your knee into your shoulder. Round and around you go with your ankle. Keep your rib cage up so that your back is nice and straight. And you see how I'm just kind of pulling this on up, and I'm going as straight as I can so that I can do circles, and I'm just pulling that leg up toward my shoulder as much as I can. And I want to keep my knee going toward my shoulder. Whether or not you can straighten your leg here, you still might be pretty tight in your hamstring. This is a good one to do. You can do this on the floor, on the bed, or we're doing it on the chair. Okay, and I am going to get in the floor today, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to do the other one. So here I go. I'm sitting up here. I'm going to lean back or lay back. I'm going to bring my knee to my shoulder. Yep. And I'm going to take her up. Okay. Now I'm going to do circles. I'm going to do point flex. So keep your knee bent if you need to, or bring it all the way in to your shoulder. Yeah. So here I come back again. So now I'm going to put my hand again right here, and I'm going to pull my knee in. So I think I have everybody muted, so just make sure your own device is muted. So here I go again. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to pull in and push against, because that sets up really good dynamics with between my shoulder, my groin right here into my back. Okay, and then I come back and I'm going to go right here. I'm going to pull in and push with my hand. All right, so there that move is again. Big breath. Yes. All right, now I'm going to come right here into the chair. Hang on to my chair so you can do this. Hang on to the bed. Okay, I got my little granddaughter here. So I'm going to get up. So I'm going to go back down into my heels. See how my heels are down? I'm going to come down. Okay, stay with me, you guys. This is warming up into using mobility moves. Okay, and we're going to be in the floor. But I'm going to push into my heels. And I'm going to just release my butt. And I'm going to put my head down. And I'm going to go until I feel this stretching again. Right through here. I'm only going to do that for a couple seconds because some of you shouldn't keep your head down there very long. Okay, so I'm going to do that 2 more times. You ready? So I'm going to push my heels down in, and I'm going to lift, and I'm going to stretch right through here. Okay, right through the hamstrings, right through here. Then I'm going to bend and come back down. Last time. Okay, so hold on. Let the blood flow back in there. Hi, you guys coming on. So we're doing a lot of hip mobility issues today. And I'm gonna do one more of those sit to stands, but I'm hanging on to my chair. But before I do that, I'm gonna show some of you the very first move we started with, which is a hip mobility specific move. So all I do is I turn my knee toward the midline. And you see I have my toes down? Yeah. So if you want to do that a couple of times, so I try not to turn, try to bring that knee in there, and I'm on my toes. See how I've come into the midline? So this is a hip mobility move that you can do virtually anywhere. It's a small move, but you see how it starts to open up here, and you turn, and if you have your toe down there, it starts stretching your foot. It's a great stretch, mobility move stretch for your hip. Okay, see how I'm dropping that knee and I say rib cage up, my toes are down, and it just helps that mobility through the hip as it relates to the hamstrings. Okay, last one. I'm gonna grab here, I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna straighten my legs, I'm gonna put my head down. I should be feeling a big stretch all the way down to here. And if I want to, I can bring one toe up at a time. I can do it a couple of times and then I come right back down. You don't want to stay down there too long because the blood does go to your head. And it will even build up your ability to keep your head down there. You kind of get used to doing that. Okay, so now I'm going to just come. I'm going to use my chair or not. I'm going to get down into the floor. Now, you can put your, I'm going to be putting my heels in my chair or on my bed. So you can use whatever that you have. If you need a lower one, use a lower one. So see, I'm just coming right down here. And one of the things I introduced on Monday was one of your best pieces of equipment for training, seriously, is your floor. Okay, and I've told you guys that we're kind of warming up, so we're going to go down and come back into this position. So this is the all four position. You can do it right here on bed. So you're in your all fours. You're going to go to your elbows. You're going to put your butt in the air. See that? You're going to crawl out here like a combo crawl, combat crawl. And so I'm right down into my hip down position. So you can do it on the bed. You can do it all on the bed. It'll be just fine on the bed. So your elbows are down and you're going to push down into your elbows and lift your upper body up. Okay. This move is the move of choice that I would give most people who say they have tight backs, pain in the back, whether it's from arthritis. There's very few conditions in the back that this will not help give relief to. It's a hyperextension, and then I'm going to crawl out. I'm going to put my forehead down, drop my shoulders, take a breath. Then I'm going to put my elbows right back underneath me. I'm going to stretch my back just like that. And if I've even suggested to some of you personally that you put pillows underneath and just hang out here for a bit. This really helps reposition a tight back, okay? So once I've done that, now I'm gonna push my butt in the air. I'm gonna walk back. I'm gonna come up to my all fours. So I'm on my knees and I'm on my hands. So I'm right here on all fours. Now here goes the hip thing, okay? Hi, everybody coming on. So I'm going to bring my one knee in, then one knee in. Don't just start working with one leg and before you wake up all those muscles doing this move. See this? See, a lot of people will, and many times we will just go up. But what I'm telling you is bring your knee in first, okay? Now do a little simple circle, okay? So you're doing a circle with your knee, right here. See that? See that circle? Okay, this is my hip that's replaced. This is not hard on that hip. It's a very good way to get better hip mobility. You get to check in with how all those ball and socket mechanical moves are working. And see, I'm right here into us. I'm just drawing a circle with my knee. And as I'm drawing this, I come under myself and then out. Not hard, but boy, this starts to give a lot of strength work that you're feeling, but mobility right through here. So it's not a huge move. That's what I want you to hear. A lot of times you'll see people taking their knees way out of range. Not necessary to do that. So see, here I am on this one. So what am I going to do? I'm going to start with bringing my knee in. Then I'm going to go open and around. I'm going to draw a circle on the floor with my knee. So what does this do? Well, I'm holding balance with a fist on the ground. That way I don't insult my wrist or put too much pressure on it. My elbows are soft, number 2. My shoulders are down, number 3. When I bring this knee up, I have to tighten my tummy. Okay, so I'm tightening my tummy and I'm drawing a circle, drawing a circle, drawing a circle with this knee. Here's the deal, y'all. A lot of times these moves, unless it's like really hard to do, people go, oh, you know, those were too easy for me. Well, there are so many things that is happening in your spine, in your hips, up through your shoulders with this little tiny move that it would be hard to even go into them all. But if you can hold yourself in this position, see your tummy's super tight, you're holding yourself on one side while you're letting the other knee do the circle. Now you have to keep saying shoulders down, elbows soft. Okay, one more. Okay. Now we're going to go right back down to our move that I did right before this. And we are going to be going down and up quite a bit. Again, you can do this on your bed. Yes, it's good. You could even, to make it more stable, put like put a mat on your bed if that's all you can do. But if you can get down on the floor, get down on the floor. Okie dokie. So here I go. I'm going to crawl down. And there I am again. So my elbows are down. I'm pushing into my elbows. I'm lifting my rib cage. I'm keeping my chin tucked. Okay? Keeping my chin tucked. My elbows are down. And I'm hanging out here for a second. Because see, in that hands and knees position where you're doing the knee circle, unless somebody's right there, putting their hand right on your back and seeing how you're working with your pelvic and hips and back, a lot of times you cheat. Okay, I know that's news to some of you, but you cheat. Okay, see how I've held myself in this position for a bit? I'm talking through this for a reason. I want you to hang out here for a bit. Put your elbows down, drop your shoulders, and really press into your elbows, okay? You're giving yourself a really good amount of time to do a super move to help release and to help your back function better, okay? I think somebody's camera is on or audio is on. Just check your machine, make sure that your audio is off.
I'm sorry, I'm what?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm just keep down there. I think I got somebody's audio that's on. So it's Marilyn. Marilyn, if you can just cut off your audio, that would be helpful. Because I'm getting feedback. Okay, maybe somebody can call her. Okay, so you're down here. You see what I just did? Down here, okay? I'll tell her again when I see her. So my elbows are down. Now I'm gonna push back again. You can do it with me. I did it to get up, but some people avoid the floor like the plague. They just don't want to even touch it. Yeah, maybe somebody can call Marilyn and let her know that she needs to push her little microphone off. I muted everybody, but her button is still on. Okay, see how I'm right here? Yeah, I'm gonna see how my toes are. This is a very important one. Stay with me. See my toes? Yeah, I'm acting like I'm gonna actually get off the floor, okay? But I'm not. All right, I'm pushing into my toes and they're curled under. Okay, so now my knees are going to come off the ground. Okay, I'm pushing into my hands and I'm going to just go like that. See that? Then I'm going to go right back down. Listen, if you would get to where you could get in the floor, do that back hyper extension, and then do this, and do 3 sets of 10 of these about every other day, oh my goodness, you would get so much more strength in your core. See, it's very doable. I'm not having you hold that for a long time. And between each repetitions or between each 5 repetitions, let's do 5. I'll show you what it feels like. So you're down here like this. My tummy's in, my shoulders are down, my elbows are soft, okay? Now, push into your fist, raise your knees off the ground, then come back down, then go into your elbow and your back hyperextension. See, my shoulders are down. Okay, ready? I'm gonna go back up. I'm gonna do 3 of those before I go back down again, just to show you this sequence. Okay, are you ready? My toes are down. See that? Toes are down. So I see, Marilyn, if you could turn your microphone off, I'm getting feedback.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just turn off the microphone. There you go. I think it's off. I don't see the red indicator yet. There, got it. Okay. Okay, you ready? So see my toes? Okay, my tummy's super tight. My elbows are soft. And for sure, my shoulders are down. I'm gonna push my knees off the ground, but I'm not coming up. Then I go back down, okay? See, I don't come all the way up. Okay, ready? Drop your shoulders, elbows soft, lift. You're coming right to the ball of the toe, then you come back down. I might do 2 of these, 3 of these. I'm gonna do 2 more, okay? And then I come back down, take a breath. So this sequence, if you could do this in 5s or 10s and really get to where you can do 5 to 10, and then go ahead and use that very important exercise piece of equipment. What is it? It's the floor. Okay, so I'm down here, my elbows are down, my shoulders are down. I'm using my shoulders a lot. I'm using my stomach a lot. But before I go into another move, see, I'm in my hyperextension here, see? And you look at what I'm doing with my leg. I'm bringing my heel to my hip, 1 at a time. I'm going to put that down. My toes are curled under right now. Drop your shoulders, bring the other heel to the hip. Once you bring the heel to the hip, and for anybody that has hamstring issues, this is stretching the quad. So see, I already started this whole session with stretching through the hamstrings. This is a gentle work. to stretch your quads because we use our quads all day long. Okay, now put it down. See how my toes are down? Okay, drop your shoulders again. See, I'm in this hyperextension. I'm going to bring the heel to the hip enough so that I feel the stretch in that front leg muscle. Got it? And when you do that, you have to keep cueing yourself to drop your chin, drop your shoulders, bring it down. Take a breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Here we go. Bring that in. Heel to hip, heel to hip, heel to hip, heel to hip. Bring it down. And you don't just hit this and come off, but you don't hold it there forever. You hold it in there until you start feeling the stretch kind of leave you as you're holding your heel toward your hip. Okay? The combination of what I'm doing today is going to help so much with lower back discomfort and hip mobility. Okay? So that's how I'll build this class. All right, take a breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. Now, you're gonna push into your elbows, lift your hip, crawl yourself back like you're trying to crawl out of a tunnel. Come up to your all fours. See, I'm on my knees and my hands. My hands, I have a fist that I have on the ground. Now you can go to a full hand anytime you want to. But if you want to take pressure off your wrist, you just make a fist, okay? Keep your shoulders down. Take a big deep breath. Now we're going to revisit the hip. Okie dokie. So I know that you're loving this class today. Okay, here we go. Shoulders are down. Now, anytime, remember we did this. Remember we did this one, right? Okay, so this was a low hip mobility. See that? So revisit that. Shift your weight. Pick the other leg up. Keep the knee down. And you don't make a huge circle. It's a little circle that you're drawing underneath you. Just to feel how your hip is functioning. Okay? Now, you drop your shoulders, drop your chin, and now you're going to bring that one leg, I don't care which, up so that you're acting like you're putting the bottom of your foot up on the ceiling. See that? See that? It's not a quick, it's not a big, huge move. It's just trying to bring the bottom of your foot, you're trying to plug it onto the ceiling. That's kind of what you're doing. But as you do this, let me encourage you, try to stay pretty even with your hips. And how do you do that? You keep your elbows soft, you keep your shoulders in, and you don't rotate. Let me show you what rotating means. Some of you do this. You do this. And that's what I don't want you to do, okay? I want you to merely keep both hip bones facing the ground as you bring the foot up, and it's going to touch the ceiling. So you stay pretty even. You don't roll, okay? See that? Okay, so if you've been doing this whole thing with me, you should be feeling your hamstring right now, okay? Okay, bring it in. Take a breath. Yes. Go back like this anytime you need to. Go back and take a rest. Okie dokie. Come back up. So you got enough rest, right? I know. See, you want to slap me about right now, but you can't. Because I'm here and you're there. Okay, so we got the other leg to do. So what are we going to do? We're going to get ourselves in symmetry. We're going to drop our shoulders. We're going to tighten our tummy. We're going to be shifting into the other leg, right? My fists are down. So now I'm going to take my leg up I'm gonna bring that leg right here, and I'm gonna put my foot up on the ceiling. See, my elbows are bent, and I'm gonna go up. And what am I not gonna do? I am not gonna roll my hips, meaning I want the hip bones facing down, both of them, even when you're lifting. See, that will prevent you from over rolling. Take a breath. So it's coming up. Take a breath. In through the nose, out through the nose if possible. Bring the bottom of that foot and try to act like, of course you're not going to do it. I'm just saying, it's just that you're going to try to put a foot stamp right up on the ceiling. See that? Yeah, when you start to approach, your elbows are soft. Yeah, take a breath. When you approach about 10, you're going to be feeling the hamstring. Yeah, your gluteal hamstring. Breath, breath, and breath. Bring it back in. Okay, we're going to crawl back down onto our favorite piece of equipment. Many people do not even think about the floor as being a primary workout piece of equipment, but it is. And I have many times tried to explain, you got to get down into the floor, roll around a little bit and get back up pretty much every day. That's your mobility. See what I'm doing right now? So I'm just right here. My elbows are down. My shoulders are down. My chin is tucked. I have both heels coming to my hip, but not hard. And then I just bring one down and one up. Tap the toe. Every time you tap your toe, breathe in, breathe out, and drop your shoulders every time. See, when I'm coming up here, I'm squeezing that hamstring. So if you want to help your hip mobility, if you want to help strength through your hips, pull this workout up. I'm telling you, these kind of little nuanced moves will help your hip mobility, your lower back. Drop your shoulders, take a breath. See, every time the toe touches, breathe in and out, drop your shoulders, keep it coming in. And every time it comes in, you need to squeeze that hamstring right there. See that? Yeah, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders. Breath, just two more. Hang with me. Hang with me, hang with me. Breath, 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 breath. Squeeze them and come down. Now, you should be having quite a bit of tension through your shoulders. Yes, of course. So you're going to crawl down. You're going to turn your head so that your side of your face is on your arms right here. And yes, your elbows are up. Okay, turn your head the other way. Let your shoulders down. Okay, so I'm on the side of my head right here. Then I gently turn and I'm on the other side of my head, right on my arms, right on the top of my, the back of my hands. Take a breath. Big breath. Another big breath. And drop your chin down. So what do I mean by that? Okay. This is where you might want a towel or something on the ground. If you can't get in the floor, see, I would have somebody do this against the wall. So my forehead and my nose are going to be down on the ground. What am I going to do with my hands? I'm going to put them right beside me. I'm going to put my forehead down. Okay? I'm going to bring my hands up just like that and one leg. And then go down. Take a breath. Drop your shoulders. Bring your hands up. Now bring the other leg up just a little. Point, flex, put it down. You can keep your arms up or put them down every time. But what you have to do constantly, no matter what you're doing, with your hands up or down, you got to keep saying shoulders down. Shoulders down. Point flex, point flex. You got to use your stomach here. Your forehead is down. Right on your towel on the floor. Bring your hands up. Palm up. Lift your heel. And when you lift your heel, you're coming up with the whole leg. Then you change. Point flex. Point flex. Put it down. Breathe in. Point flex. Point flex. Point flex. Down. See, I still have my hands up here. Drop your shoulders. Breathe in. Bring that leg up. Point flex. Point flex. Down. The leg is straight. Palms up. Point flex. Point flex. Point flex. Down. One more. Drop your shoulders. Point flex. Point flex. Your leg should be straight. You're holding your leg up here with your gluteal. Okay, take a breath. Point flex. Straight leg. All right. Bring your hands in. Push yourself back into that original position that I showed you, which is elbows down and my back is in extension. See that? Hyperextension. See that? So I'm pushing into my elbows. This should be a very, such a good feeling on your back. All right. So from this position, see, I'm just going to reach over here, but I'm still in this hyperextension position. See that? My shoulders are down, then I come back to center, then I just reach across, tap, tap, tap. Keep my shoulders down and a hyperextension. Very important. Take a big breath. Now I'm going to go back to that position that I showed you, that if you did this, you know, a set of 10 or a set of 2 sets of 10, even every other day, oh my goodness, the lack of tightness and pain in your back and your hips and the strength. And here it is. We go right up to our hands and knees. See that? I put my toes under me. See this? Okay, my shoulders are down. Now I'm gonna act like I'm gonna get up, but I don't. So my tummy's in. I'm gonna push into the toes, bring my knees up. My feet are on my pad, but then I come right back down and tap. I'm gonna do that 3 more times. Are you ready? I know you love this, so stay with me. Tight tummy, shoulders down, breathe. Knees off the floor, come down. Don't immediately go to the ground. Hover above the ground just for a couple seconds. Ready, 2 more. Here we go. Up. Big breath. Now come down. Now hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Down. Take a breath. Here we go. Up. Keep your feet down. Now come down. Act like you're coming down, but hover, 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 hold, 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 and come down. Now crawl back out into your hyperextension move right here. See that? My shoulders are down, and this is really helping your hip relationship to your back, muscles, joints, bones. That sequence, I'm going to do it 1 more time before I back into another one, okay? Another move. Stay with me. Here we go. Drop my shoulders. Bring my butt up like I'm going to crawl out of a tunnel. See? I go to hands and knees. And again, a fine modification for your wrist here is fist. Just put your fist down anytime you feel it's too much for your wrist, okay? Now, First thing you do is drop your shoulders. Second thing you do is tighten your tummy. Okay, now I'm gonna press into my knees and into my toes, and I'm gonna lift my knees up. Now I'm into my toes. Now I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna hover. I'm gonna hover over my mat before I put my knees down, okay? Let's do that 2 more times. Are you ready? Drop your shoulders, push into your toes, lift your knees. You're using a lot of stomach, a lot of core. Now drop toward the floor, but don't go onto the floor. Hover, 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 and down. One more time. I'm doing this with you, so one more time, we can do this, okay? Take a breath, drop your shoulders, tight tummy, push into the toes, lift. Now come down, come down, come down, come down, come down, hover over the ground, over your mat. Keep your breathing, keep your elbows soft, and come on down. Take a breath, and then we would go back into a hyperextension generally. However, now we're gonna sit on our side. See that? See, I'm just right here on your side. I can see some of you are so glad to get on your side. And so don't get confused about this position. This is a very typical position if you were going to get in the floor to do anything. See, you would go from all fours like this, and you would turn and you would sit on your hip. See that? I've got a pad here that I'm sitting on. Okay, so once you're sitting on your side of your leg, your hip here, then you put your elbow down. See that? Okay, tummy is super tight. Okay, this is a good place to keep your tummy tight, because if you don't, well, it just gets in your way. See, it just falls right out here onto the floor. So keep your tummy tight. So see how my knees are stacked? That's kind of important here, okay? Then I'm gonna bring my knee open like a clam. What you will not see me do is you will not see me overlift here. What does overlifting look like? Number one, it puts too much pressure on this shoulder, okay? You keep this shoulder right in line with your elbow. And when you lift the knee here, over rotating makes you not use the muscles that I'm wanting you to use. So don't do that, okay? Well, how do you keep from doing that? You take your other hand and you put it on your hip right here. And when you raise the little clam leg, see that? See, it's like opening like a clam. The minute that you feel your hip rotating, you take this top hand and push yourself forward so that you don't do that, okay? Very important. And this move right in here, this is the little clam move. So between the two moves that I introduced here this morning, which is the hyperextension laying on the ground, you can do it against the wall if you're standing, into that knee up position. And then this one, okay? This is absolutely a functional, a foundational move for hip mobility and stronger hips. See what I'm doing? I am not letting myself roll back. I am not. I'm bringing that leg up like a little clam opening, but no further. Because if you go further, I'll guarantee you, you are rolling back on your hip. So don't do that. So see, I can tell you right now, I only have, I don't know, just a couple more in me here because I'm feeling this, see? So this is my hip replace side. This is a very important move to do, very. Okay, take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. I got 2 more. Okay, one more. One more, hold it and come back in. Bring your knees in and just roll to a sit down, just like this. See that? Now, that I was leaning and holding myself on my challenged shoulder. All of us have these challenges. I am telling you, that move is a great move to get strength through your shoulder and not hurt your shoulder. Is it gonna feel like, oh my gosh, it's real, I'm feeling this? Yes. Okay, so see how I'm crawling around here? I'm just coming over here to the other side. See that? So my elbow's down, right? See, my elbow's right here under my shoulder, see? Meaning I don't want you out here. That would hurt your shoulder. If you keep your elbow in, you're good to go. Your knees are stacked. See that? In through the nose, out through the nose. Lots of breathing. Okay, my ankles are together, my knees are stacked. I'm gonna take this hand and I'm gonna keep pushing my shoulder in. Don't let your shoulder jump out. I'm gonna put my hand right here because as I start my clams, see this? What do I not want to do? Why do I have my hand here? Because if you open a little too wide, see, if I see somebody doing this, by virtue of that, you have rolled back on your hip and you are no longer using the muscles I want you to use, okay? So now I'm gonna stay right here. I'm gonna keep my shoulder down. Breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. And I just do these little clammy things. See that? Without rolling back. So if you have hamstring problems, if you have wonky hips, if you have kind of back issues and it gets tight on you and hurts or whatever, this is the workout that you need to try to pull up, because we started with some great mobility hip moves. We went into many revisits to the hyperextension in your back, which helps to get your back realigned, okay? And sometimes some of you need to do that with pillows under you. Now, I know Kathy's counting these. You should be feeling it in little muscles around your hip now. Okay, I'll do one more. Here we go. See? Yes. And then bring those knees in. Come right here and sit on your mat. See? Come sitting on my mat. I'll put my hands under here. See? I'll put my hands under here like this. And I'll pull back. So this is a push-pull kind of a way of sitting. That's really good through the shoulders, the back, the hips. So as I'm here, see, I just grab my wrist like that under here, and I pull back. See that? And I'm grasping my wrist right here as I pull back with my shoulders down. And I'm gonna go up with my toes, and then I'm gonna go down with my toes and lift my heels. So I'm gonna, as I'm pulling, see, I'm pulling back and I'm pushing my legs down against this pull. And I go toe, lift the heels, and then bring the toes up. Then toes, lift the heels, and then bring the toes up. Yeah, so it's a down, lift the heels, and then back. As you're doing the push-pull, and you can change your grip to your other wrists. Okay, this is a great move. Breathe in with your nose, out with your nose, lift the heels, point the toes, lift the toes, push, pull, whoa, and release. Okay, now as you're releasing, you can hang on to a bed or a wall or whatever that is good for you to do, but you hang on to one leg. Then you just take one leg and just let it kind of fall out to the side. See that? So when it falls out to the side, you want to say rib cage up. So you say rib cage up and you gently put your hand right here, okay? So your ankle actually is about to touch the ground. That's basically the position you want. See how I'm pushing this out? See, gently, just right here. I feel all kinds of really cool stretches all around my hip because my back is extended when I'm doing this. I don't have to go down really far. I just put my hand here. Push it a little if you want. And then you release. You don't do it quick. Adjust yourself so you're feeling on your sit bones. So I've got this leg up, this leg. Now this is my hip replace side. And I think of Chrissy when I do these because she's got both of them to consider. And you don't go out very far. You just kind of let it fall out a little bit. And you put your hand right there gently. And you say rib cage up. Got it? Yeah, so this is a real exercise in mobility today, especially hip mobility. Yes. So we're doing all around the hip today. And at the same time, we get shoulders and everything else. Now, saying that, so here I'm sitting. Some of you, this is very difficult for you to sit like this, okay? This is an L position, okay? I try to do it pretty regularly. That's why I want you to get down on the floor and just roll around a little bit. Do some of these moves that you can do. Point, flex, and you're up here. If that's very uncomfortable for you, keep one knee bent or both. So some of you have real challenges with your back, and I understand that. So I try to give you good modifications. So see, when I have one knee up, I can do point, flex, and pull myself forward. See that? But when I pull myself forward, my back doesn't flex. It is an extension. See that? See, it's a point flex. I'm doing this as a modification. One knee is bent, point flex, and this one's straight, and I come forward until I feel a little stretch right back here. So if you're very inflexible in your hamstrings, that's how you want to do it. See this? One knee's up. I kind of come forward and lay the belly and the chest right into the leg. So my back stays extended. Then I do point flex and I come down far enough that I feel the stretch in the back of the leg. See? So I'm doing this one at a time, which is much more safe for many of you, okay? But if you can do it with two, well, that's fine. And how would I know if this is done correctly if you were doing it with two? Well, a lot of people will try to do that and they'll get down here, but then I look at their back. If their back is flexed, then they're not doing it, okay? So understand that. All right. So we're going to go into the back end of the class here. So stay right here. I'm just going to glance at where my time is. Okay. This is my little bed here. So I'm doing this right here with you because I know a lot of you are in, have a small little area. You can do a lot of stuff, even in a small area. So now I'm going to do what I'm told that I start many of my PE classes with my kids or with other people. I'm going to bring a leg down and lay down. And I'm going to bring one leg up, keep a knee bent. Keep this knee bent if you need to. So you keep that knee over the belly button, straighten it only as you can. And then you take the lower leg down and you do points and flex, but this leg is down, this leg is up. This is called the L stretch. You can see the L, see that? If you need to keep your knee soft, that's fine. Just don't try to straighten your leg down here. It's too stressful on your back, etc. Okie dokie. So keep the knee in, straighten it if you can, make an L. Don't let your toe go out to the side. Keep it straight down, just like that. Hang out here for a bit. Some people have to hold that position for quite a while. Okay, bring this knee in, come up. Now I'm in an L stretch again. See the L stretch? And keep the knee bent if you need to. Point, flex. So we're doing a lot of ankle mobility today. A lot of foot and ankle goes with the hip issues, okay? And so you're gonna do the L stretch. And some people hang out here for sometimes 3 to 5 minutes actually, because this is a real realigning of your spine, your hips, especially if you have one leg longer than the other, like I do. This is so helpful and to realign and to help the tightness in one side go away. And it's just a point flex. Keep that leg up there. Keep that leg from rolling out. Don't let it roll out. Take a big deep breath. Palms are up, shoulders are down. Really pull those shoulder blades in and drop the shoulders. Palms are up while you're holding this. Oh my goodness, this is the rack, okay? You're on the rack right now. You've probably noticed that. And if you need to, some of you might need to put a little pad under your head because it's very uncomfortable because you're still working at trying to get your line up correctly, right? So just go ahead and put a little pad under your the back of your head if you need to, okay? Hang out here just for a little bit, then bring your knees in, take a breath, and release, and bring your knees in, breathe in, exhale, release. Do it one more time. Bring your knees in, keep them as close together as possible. Try to keep your hips down, and you'll have just a little bit of back and forth mobility with your the lower back. Okay, now I'm going to roll to the side, just like this. I'm going to get ready, and I'm going to stand up. Okay, you ready? So I'm going to come right here. I'm going to put my toes down. I'm going to open my feet, push into my feet, equalize, my butt's back, and then I come up slowly. You spent that whole time with me on the floor. You need to come up slowly. Okie dokie. All righty. Good job today. All about hips.